Terrorist base, destroyed by American forces while defending
Our
civilians.
victorious forces continue their liberation journey.
Against a striking America and China reporting
In
several
today's
GLA
Security Council session,
Tensions are high.
senseless American aggression once more fills the
our
sky.
premier again denied involvement with
The military had the fragmented Global Liberation Army on the
Splinter
run.
groups vying for control.
The American response is its signature shock and awe campaign.
China is here to help our European comrades.
The United States believes that a general, codenamed Dr. Threats, is running the lethal program.
Humiliating America by penetrating its own borders and raiding its weapons of mass destruction.
Further transmission may be difficult. Although America's military had the fragmented Global Liberation Army on the run following the last conflict here, terrorist activity remains a clear and present danger. Heavily armed assailants continue their occupation of the Baikonur launch facility in Kazakhstan. The GLA has armed the missiles at Baikonur with newly designed chemical warheads. This arsenal is aimed towards Europe, and evacuations of urban centers have already begun. A previous attempt by the Chinese to retake the facility has failed. With Chinese troops battling local warlords to the east, the United States has been asked to undertake the Baikonur mission. Tensions are high. A failed counterstrike could significantly weaken America's influence and strategic interests in Europe. From Falcon Base Command Center, I'm James Seabury.
General. The GLA launched their missile from the Baikonur facility early this morning. Intel reports that they are preparing a second launch. Use of this missile will severely weaken our foothold in Europe. It is vital that we remove this threat. Our sources indicate that the next missile is being transported to the launch facility by train. These tracks are the only way into the facility. The first step in completing our mission is to secure and hold this train depot. If we can intercept that train in time, we can use it as cover to infiltrate the base. Good luck, General.
With the victory at Baikonur and the elimination of a GLA missile threat under their belts, American forces face the task of rebuilding a landscape ravaged by war. Aboard these ships are tons of food and medical supplies en route to a desperate population. Although relief convoys have been harassed by warlords linked to the GLA, the US no longer considers the terrorist organization a serious threat. Nonetheless, a Navy aircraft carrier is in the region to lend air support. Meanwhile, Special Forces continue their search for GLA caches rumored to include weapons of mass destruction.
Carrier command to fleet. Keep up the fire, boys. The GLA are bringing in reinforcements.
Roger that, Carrier command. Maintaining suppression fire on the docks.
Be careful what you hit. We just want to clear it out, not destroy it. Launching airstrike.
Docks are all clear. No GLA in sight.
Most of our fleet survived the GLA Baikonur attack. Our aircraft carrier and battleship escorts are at your disposal to aid with this operation. The docks have been cleared, General. Our first task will be to hold them while the supply trucks are brought in. Until the dozers arrive, we will have to defend this position with our troops as they filter in.
A terrorist base, destroyed by American forces while defending civilian relief convoys, has yielded documents that provide important clues regarding the GLA's toxin program. Reports suggest that a key research facility, as well as a possible source of funding for the lethal program, have been identified. Although the US commander will not provide confirmation, our network analysts predict that if the intelligence is reliable, America will respond. This is James Seabury, reporting from Falcon Base.
I'll wait for you at the lab. Do hurry.
Oh, you'll wait for me. All right, Lotus. Let's race.
Following the assault and capture of a secret GLA lab, no doubt remains that the terrorists are engaged in toxin production. The United States believes that a general, codenamed Dr. Thrax, is running the lethal program. Little is known about this elusive extremist, who has also been charged with war crimes by the World Court. We understand there is intense pressure on American intelligence agencies to trace the funding for Dr. Thrax's research. Only by choking off the cash supplied by covert oil supplies can the US hope to cripple the threat of a terrorist army hoarding weapons of mass destruction.
Bravo team, your primary objective is the small airstrip to your south. Secure it for incoming reinforcements. Out. Roger, SATCOM. Approaching target area.
Airstrip secured, General. Reinforcements en route.
Those are away. Returning to barn. Out.
The intel we retrieved from a secret lab proves the GLA have seized these Iranian oil fields to help fund the nefarious Dr. Thrax. They may destroy them rather than let you recapture them.
Somewhere in this besieged city, the man known as Dr. Thrax orchestrates his last stand against America. The recent capture of a GLA oil field has cut off the pipeline funding Dr. Thrax and his weapons research. Now, with his enemies closing in, the chemical-wielding warlord threatens to unleash missiles loaded with gamma toxin, among the most deadly nerve agents ever developed. Hoping to avoid an incident even more catastrophic than the Baikonur disaster, the American response is its signature shock and awe campaign. Eliminating Dr. Thrax would surely decimate the GLA's offensive capabilities. Further transmissions may be difficult. This is James Seabury reporting from the field.
SATCOM A4 has confirmation on base location. Visuals are uploading now. Field, please verify status of toxin production facilities.
Toxin production facilities confirmed, sir.
We have a go upon presentation of final clearance code.
Clearance code is Sierra, Hotel, Oscar, Charlie.
Roger that, Alpha Whiskey Echo. The birds are in the air.
We've tracked Dr. Thrax to this remote location. He's in possession of chemical-tipped missiles and has them prepped for launch. Destroying his toxin storage tanks has slowed him down, but we must move in and secure those missiles before they can be launched.
Although the United States has ordered its mercenaries to hunt down Dr. Thrax, the Global Liberation Army has abandoned efforts to protect the rogue scientist, who is known to be unstable. Senseless American aggression once more fills the sky with smoke and fire. But despite this air power and combined troop strength, China and America cannot hope to break the GLA chain of command. GLA leaders promise a continuing war of attrition against the enemies of freedom. It is a war they will win. This is Omar Ben Ghazali reporting.
Patrol to base. Target has been located and we are in pursuit. The bombing campaign has already begun. Be careful, Patrol. Roger that base. I'm on the right.
I'm taking fire! Stay on them! Look out! Base Charlie 3 is down! Repeat, Charlie 3 is down!
Continue pursuit, Charlie 2. This is our best shot at him.
I've got him!
No! General, we made our escape and are headed for the rendezvous point. The GLA has arisen again.
General, you must help our true leader escape so that the GLA can live on. Dr. Thrax may have died for the cause, but that is inconsequential. If our brother escapes, the US will not have seen the last of the GLA.
The desolation here results from a ruthless campaign against a single man, Dr. Thrax, whom the GLA has discredited and denounced. America and China report several GLA leaders have been killed, resulting in a power vacuum with splinter groups vying for control. This is called wishful thinking. Our sources confirm that the GLA is simply reorganizing to more effectively defeat their enemies. From the field, I am Omar bin Ghazali.
This is Recon 1 to base. I am finishing my patrol. Sector is clear.
This is base. Are you certain, Recon 1? We've had reports of troop movements linked to Prince Kassad.
I am most certain. I have not seen anything but dust and shrubs for hours now. Returning to base after this. What was that?
Recon 1, what is your status? Recon 1, report!
General, this area is being controlled by Prince Kassad. He has turned his back on his brother and will not aid us in our cause against the infidels. Kassad is a master of stealth, relying on several techniques to surprise and attack his enemies. GPS scramble gives him the power to have any unit strike unseen against an enemy. Tunnel sneak attacks offer further tactical advantages.
I'll make the sacrifice!
We must have these technologies. If Kassad will not share, we will take them from him, capture his command centers, and turn his own abilities against him.
Lies persist in the corrupt Western media that the Global Liberation Army now has a fragmented leadership. More reliable reports from the GLA reveal the truth. A new, powerful commander has emerged with the complete support of the people. Furthermore, U.S. intelligence chatter warns major action by the revitalized GLA is imminent. The Americans have strengthened defenses at their international bases. This is a laughable strategy against a strike that could come at any time and any place. From News Headquarters, I am Omar bin Ghazali. The destruction here is overwhelming, as America's Mediterranean fleet sinks and wallows in the sea. This crushing blow by the GLA has led to serious re-evaluation of U.S. presence abroad, with rumors that America will end its war crimes and pull its forces from Europe altogether. That day will mark a GLA victory many have waited for. Live from the Mediterranean, I am Omar bin Ghazali.
My brethren, be careful as we tread on enemy soil. Our main objective is to obtain chemical samples from the nearby American toxin facility. The remains of the American naval force have moved to the Mediterranean in response to the loss of their command fleet. This has allowed us to slip in. We defeated them there, and we shall be victorious here. Brothers, rejoice. Once we have the toxins from this facility, our scientists will be able to forge a weapon of mass infection. The Americans have meddled for too long. With this new weapon, we will be able to strike fear into the hearts of our oppressors.
General, we have a plan to attack America's Central Command in Europe.
As the world's last so-called superpower crumbles, the GLA grows stronger, humiliating America by penetrating its own borders and raiding its weapons of mass destruction. Washington rumbles with the cries to abandon European bases and protect the homeland, and the GLA is determined to force this expulsion. The ranks of the GLA swell with countless victims of foreign aggression, and splinter cells unite against our common enemy. This inspiring statement comes from the GLA Supreme Command. We are everywhere. No walls or boundaries will hold us back. No imperialist army will stand before us until all are free.
Stop them!
The Chinese base. We must strike now. Their base will soon be ours.
We're taking fire on the right place! Support is needed here!
Good afternoon. As America withdraws its troops to strengthen homeland defense, our own nation now takes the rightful path to lead the world against terrorism. In a televised address, our premier again denied involvement with GLA hoodlums and condemned their use of stolen Chinese armament against our great ally. The premier's military commanders have pledged to repel the GLA from former American bases in Europe. China will not allow continued GLA control of advanced U.S. military hardware. Our opinion polls show majority of citizens support the premier and ask for swift retribution. From our post in Germany, this is Sang Meiying, Beijing World News.
I did not think the United States would be defeated so easily. I do not understand why the United States has allowed this to happen. This cannot be allowed to stand. China will make things right. GLA's treacherous use of our resources against the Americans has caused great embarrassment to China. They must pay for their insolence. They believe they have won the day, but they celebrate too soon.
We have spotted survivors. Ground assault will be necessary.
General, the GLA managed to defeat the US forces in this area. We launched a devastating counterattack, but like roaches, they are still alive.
An overwhelming defeat at the hands of our brave troops has sent stunned GLA soldiers underground. In response to new threats by the remaining terrorist command, our homeland security has been tightened. The Premier wishes to assure citizens that the GLA will not be permitted to infiltrate our nation as it did America. Reports from our cities confirm our people stand calm and ready for any situation. Sun Meiying reporting from our Middle East news desk.
We must be on our guard. Reports say the GLA might attack as revenge for our entering the war. GLA forces! We're under attack! They are everywhere! We are being overrun! Another wave! We need reinforcements! We've lost the airfield! They're trying to get to the main reactor. Protect it at all costs. The command center! They got the command center! We held. Remaining forces, report in.
In response to the GLA's failed desperate attempt to force a nuclear stalemate, the Premier was called to the European Security Council's Defense Summit. With full support of the Council, China's armed forces have been honored with the task of driving GLA forces from Europe's cities and re-establishing order. Meanwhile, the Premier assured the United Nations that China regrets the unavoidable use of nuclear arms to break the latest GLA offensive and will use restraint in future confrontations. With our European Army Division, I'm Sun Meiying. Our victorious forces continue their liberation of Europe's cities, sweeping the GLA from the streets. In today's Security Council session, the Premier humbly accepted the world's gratitude, but cautioned that the GLA should be hunted down to the last soldier. This is a wounded animal, declared our leader, but it must not find a cave where it might gather back its strength. The USA now chooses to concentrate on her own borders, but China is here to help our European comrades. Our new allies agreed with the Premier's strategy, and our military has launched new aggressive campaigns against the terrorists. This is Sun Meiying reporting. Statements of support from Europe's capitals flow to the Premier's desk as scattered GLA units are destroyed by Chinese divisions. Our leader in turn praised his field commanders for low civilian casualties and collateral damage in war zones. The general of the army reports one last GLA stronghold to be cleansed before peace is achieved. And with NATO now a political afterthought, China has proposed a newly formed alliance with Europe to share military and economic strategies. This is Sang Meiying at our Middle East Bureau.